What is up, everybody? I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I am super excited about today's episode because we finally hit that big milestone that I inadvertently kind of delayed myself on. So we now have our 6-star Kael. Um, I want to talk a little bit about why it took so long to get him to 6 stars, and clarify, just a few things. So, I mean, I don't think I necessarily did anything wrong, but I definitely prioritized my missions and I prioritized my challenges. The only thing I did wrong was prioritizing that one challenge where I just couldn't get that item, and I was farming at a level that was way lower than I would like to have been farming at, getting way less XP per energy. So now I am farming at the recommended stage. So now we can get back into the good advice, the good information for you guys to learn from. So one of the best stages to farm in is 12-3 Brutal. Um, there's a lot of different reasons, and I'm going to share my opinions and why I like farming here. The main reason that the main reason that most people say 12-3 Brutal is because shields sell for more silver, meaning that when you're farming here, you're also getting silver. You'll see I'm back up to 4.49. I was down to like 500k at one point, or even less, probably 300k. I'm farming that back up, just spending my energy in stage 3 Brutal, right? You could get more XP, I think, technically doing stage 7, and of course there's Nightmare, but there's no shot that my Kael can solo a Nightmare stage right now. So for the early game especially, 12-3 Brutal is the best place. And I'll be honest with you, that's where I farm on all my accounts. Every single one of my accounts farms at 12-3 Brutal. I've never bothered to try farming on Nightmare. I probably could on my main account. It's just not something that I'm worried about. 12-3 Brutal works. It works just fine. I get a bunch of silver from it. I get a bunch of XP from it. And I really have no complaints. So when you're, progressing, you'll see, I'm blocking it right now, but yeah, you'll see we're on Brutal, and, get yourself up to 12-3 when you can. Now, I am in a tricky position, and that position is that even though Kael is level 60, even though he does have, all of his masteries, I am still at kind of a point right now where I'm not 100% on 12-3 Brutal. So the one thing that'll happen if he lands a bomb, so I'm probably going to fail this run here. And I've had this problem with other, runs in the past. I got really lucky here and managed to get my cooldowns up. The main thing I need to finish this out is just better gear at this point. In order to be able to do 12-3 Brutal 100%, I just need better gear. There is some thought for me to move some of my gear back around again. Possibly swap some of the ninja gear with Kael and try to maximize Kael's power level. Now you'll see I have done some things as well. I have done some enchants to get some more attack. I've even done some ascension, because I did get access now, because I'm level 38. I do now have access to the dungeons for Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun's Grove, and that gives me extra, that gives me the resources necessary to ascend gear. So I did do a little bit of that on the 5-star pieces, especially because I'll probably hang on to those for at least a little bit. I will eventually replace the 4-star pieces. So even with those changes, I am not yet capable of soloing a 12-3 Brutal 100% of the time. But I'm still going to do it, because even when I fail it, I get a pretty decent amount of XP. I honestly don't know if it's the same. I haven't bothered to look at the numbers when it happens, but it still feels pretty significant XP. So I'm happy to farm there. I've got no issues with it. And I'm just going to keep on doing that. So farming there right now, I already have one 5-star food ready to go for Ninja. I'm currently working on the next 5-star food. You'll see I have quite a few champions leveled. When it comes to the champion training tournament, that's actually going very, very well for me. Now, the rewards are probably less than what you're offered. I'm only able to get an epic tome. I'm not especially looking for this epic tome. I am simply trying to farm my champions, right? That's all I'm looking to do. I'm simply trying to level up my Ninja and get him 60 as well. That's going to help me just get further into the game. But with Kael now being fully 6-star and ascended, by the way, if you're wondering, like, man, you 6-starred him and he's already level 60, you get a free brew at the beginning of the game. A free keg, rather. That's one of the XP barrel is what they're called. So you save that. I recommend you save that. As soon as you 6-star your Kael, zoop, instant 60, right? I think that's a great way to do it. So right now I'm just doing what I can. My build on Kael is much weaker than Ninja. Like, if I swap my gear from Ninja over, you'll see, we've got way more crit damage and crit rate. Actually, I have too much crit rate because these actually rolled crit rate. So, but for Kael, only 73% crit damage, not even fully 100% crit rate. 2400 attack. What was Ninja's? Probably less because he, 2000, but he probably has much better multipliers than a rare. So, yeah, it's kind of a strange spot right now. I if I move gear around, especially this extra crit damage and even speed gear, I'm pretty sure my Kael will be able to do it 100%. I'm just not sure that I want to do that yet because I am getting some good gear now. So if I kind of do, if we look at 4-star or higher, blue or higher gear, you'll see we actually do have a pretty good chunk of gear. And even if I just take that down to 5-star, we've still got some interesting pieces that we could work with maybe. Nothing stands out too much. Most of it, well, actually, there's a really good piece right here I'd love to level, this Relentless Shield. We've got crit rate, crit damage. I wish it had attack percent or something, but, you take what you can get. You'll notice I am keeping these flat stat ones. I may have already talked about this in another video, but I'm going to hold on to those, maybe re-roll them if I can get some of the ore. They're just good pieces. Hang on to them, see what I can make happen from that. Also, I did notice that Killstroke helmet, and I'm wondering... Yeah, I could probably move gear around in a reasonable way. But I'm at the point now, as far as Clan Boss goes, I can one-shot easy now. You'll see 1 key, 5.7 million, 1 key, 5 million. 3 million there, 1 million there, right, is the minimum, and I've smoked those. But for hard, that is hard. Now, obviously, this affinity is not great for me because I do have members of my clan that come down here and do hard on a regular basis, and so they cleared it before I could. So I may come in here first tomorrow and try and put a key in here, maybe put 2 keys in here, but because I don't even think I did enough to get an extra chest. That's fine. The thing is, the affinity mattered, but also my accuracy is a big problem for me right now. I'm really considering dumping more resources into upping this accuracy here, trying to get myself a little bit of extra so that I can land those poisons from Kael and the burns from Ninja, because I just don't have that. I also don't have any accessories whatsoever for either of them. Daily login rewards. Yeah, I'm still getting 4-star gear. Gonna get 3-star accessories here. Like, I'm pretty much ahead of any of this being effective for me, if I'm honest. So, what's next, right? Obviously, farming, grinding, trying to get Kael up, trying to do my best to keep my arena rating up. I should do a little better now with the Kael build. I think ultimately the answer is go ahead and swap this gear. build Kael, make him the strongest, give him the most attack, give him the most crit rate, 100% crit rate, crit damage, best speed. Like, just combine all my gear and put it all on Kael right now. We have War Master on Kael. We've got poisons to do damage to bosses. Like, we can just invest in Kael now, and then that's going to speed up, hopefully, leveling Ninja. It's going to speed up my ability to get gear so that I can hopefully get the required accessories that I need for Kael. You'll see I've just been pretty unlucky where I did get these, free accessories. They just didn't land on Kael. So it's been a little unfortunate there. But we're going to keep working at it, keep on pushing and grinding and trying to get some stuff. But we're all caught up. Like, we're pretty much caught up everywhere we need to be, mission-wise. So once Ninja is 6-starred, which is the priority, and that's why I'm not pulling shards. If I level up Ninja before the weekend, before next weekend, when we will have a 2x Ancients, then I might pull some Ancients out of a 2x, right? Out of cycle. Because I'm going to need somebody to level up. And I don't really have that. I don't think this rare, while interesting, is necessarily worth leveling up. I mean, the baby version of Strengthen is interesting and the triple hitter is interesting, but I'd much rather have an epic to kind of work on. There is Armiger, so maybe I go that route, but I don't know. With the way and the rate that you get epics in the game now, it really feels like you can you can leave Armiger in the dust very, very quickly. Now, maybe I'm being a little biased because I had such great luck on my other free-to-play. We may have 0 luck on this free-to-play, right? So that will factor into the decisions. But I've said this before on my old free-to-play account. I'm going to say it again here. How would I feel if I invest all those resources into Armiger only to pull Geomancer on next weekend, right? And then I don't have food ready to go to level them up. It's going to take a while. I don't have gems, I don't have energy, I don't have any of that. So that's kind of my thought process. Is I feel like Ninja's going to take a while anyways. We're working, we're grinding, but we're going to take a while to get there. Once we do, depending on how close I am to next weekend when we get those 2x Ancients, I'll probably just wait and see what we get from that 2x. We could get nothing. We could get trash epics. We could get trash, nothing but rares. Like, anything could happen, right? But I would rather wait and play to the strengths of my account rather than look at my account in the short term. Let's look at it in the long term, because you don't want to deprive yourself of that. And that can totally happen. I've invested massive resources into Frozen Banshee on the free-to-play and then pulled a better champion and didn't have the resources to level them, and they ended up just sitting on the back burner for so long that I just end up getting somebody even better, right? So, and sometimes those, like, average legendaries that are so good for you in the early game can really be valuable to your account, not just in the early game, but long game too. Because, like, for me, the champion that I'm kind of referencing was like Ray and was it Herndig? I think mostly I'm thinking of Ray. I pulled Ray very early. For those of you that aren't familiar with Ray's kit, she's a pretty good nuker. She's got some freeze mechanics in her kit. Can hit pretty hard. Also has decreased defense on an AoE A1. Yeah, it's only 50% chance when booked, but still, like, she's not terrible. You'll even look at her reviews, like, pretty good reviews. I think she's a fine champion. But I didn't level her because I just got better options every time, and she kind of got pushed down the timeline, and she's still 50, right? And now I'm pulling, I'm building my Hydra teams now. Don't really need her there. I'm building Georgid on that account right now. That's my focus. Like, you kind of, but then in that same vein, I don't have anybody other than Mithrala and Kael, I think for um, what is the factions? It's not Dark Elf, but I don't really have the champions for faction wars, right? So Ray would be very good there, and now I'm leveling up a Georgid because he's just so good. So yeah, just keep that in mind that there's like a fine balance there, and I think I made a mistake by maybe not leveling Ray in that instance, but um, one could argue that I didn't because I ended up pulling somebody better, and I got Geomancers and I got Newts and these S tier champions that have helped me out. So it's really hard to say what's right, and I want to be clear about that. Always keep in mind that my advice is just my advice based on my experience and based on content that I've consumed. I don't think anybody is really truly an expert in this game. A lot of people, for example, think that Bambus is really, really bad, and I have people that love Bambus and swear by him, right? So I think there's two sides to every argument, and I think it's worth having that discussion and that open-mindedness towards this game. And I just wanted to touch on that really, really quickly. But kind of back to what we're doing on the account, I do want to continue to try and get these rares. So I've already got one, and that was from the champion training tournament. Then the classic arena takedown, I will be completing that very, very shortly and getting that last one, or getting that second one. So then in the future, we'll have another arena and then another champion training. The champion training is all that I want to do on this account right now. So it should be pretty easy to complete that champion training. It should be pretty easy to complete that arena. I'm not doing the artifact enhancement. The point values, it's 2,000 points. So what is this? 3, so 9, so probably, yeah, that's a lot of 6-star, and that's 6-star items I don't even have. You're talking 5-star pieces. You're talking about, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of silver. Even to hit a low score is 2,000. What's the score on my free-to-play? So this is my regular free-to-play account. You'll see I was in there farming. I haven't, let's see, artifact enhancement. So, yeah, I mean, well over double, right? 4,775. But still, that's going to be about 20 million, maybe 25 million silver. Obviously, I don't have that on this account, but I also don't even have the gear to level. Not to mention that I have to sit through it because I'm not level 40 yet. So, I don't know. It feels kind of interesting that I'm able to get some of these, but Dungeon Divers is way outside of the realm of possibility for me. Same with the tournaments. We already talked about that. Looking at the tournaments, I don't think I can generate enough points. Even at 950 is, the requirement, I still don't know that I can generate enough points there consistently. Maybe better with Kael being 6-starred now, but I think I'm okay waiting this one out. Pretty decent legendary, but we'll wait till the next one for the free-to-play challenge. But it's kind of interesting how it feels a little bit doable, right? Also want to point out I did do the second upgrade to the mine. I've been spending some gems every now and then for energy when I need it. There are other areas that I can also get energy from, so I've been doing that. Just trying to grind and level. That's basically been my main focus right now. So, we're just gonna keep doing that, and hopefully we will get that second 6-star, and we can start progressing. But the big changes for the account will come next weekend when we can actually pull some shards and get some champions. Now, I was tempted. I am tempted to pull here. First of all, you have one of the best legendaries in the game. Definitely the best PvE legendary in the game. Then you have one of the best starting epics, in my opinion. Again, you have a great epic for HP burns here, even turn meter control, the best turn meter control champion for single target. Astrid would actually be really, really solid for an account that's full of slow people. slow champions rather. So really strong lineup here. And well, I don't have any voids. These are all great voids as well for a starting account. It is tempting, mostly for these epics, but the chances are so low. And right before a 2x event, I'm not going to blow those ancients. So it's tempting. It is. Even the sacreds are even more tempting because I'm guaranteed to get an epic, and now I'm just increasing my chance of getting one of these good epics. So it is quite tempting, but I'm not going to have the luxury of gaining sacreds at a respectable rate to do a summon rush in the future. So I need to save every sacred I can to focus on the next fusion. Um, that particular summon rush, to be specific. Now, it's still pretty unlikely I get enough sacred shards. I have no way of farming them because I'm not doing a high enough difficulty of clan boss. I probably won't be doing that high enough difficulty before the next um, summon rush. So there is part of me that wants to save as many ancients too, but I do think pulling during the 2x for ancients will be more beneficial in the short term. As far as pulling off that next fusion, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? So, all right. Well, a little bit of a shorter video, but I mostly wanted to. I don't have any real updates because I haven't been progressing in any dungeons. I haven't been progressing in pretty much any area of the game yet because my main focus has just been leveling. Now, I will say this is a very good time to farm dragon. And I probably should be farming dragon with Kael during a 2x chance for speed gear. I really want Ninja to be 6-starred. So maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe getting gear would be better. I mean, I should also try to do Spider as well. It's just a weird spot because I'm so far between 2x's, right? But once that ancient 2x hits, things will ramp up. So I think grinding, and if I can have 260s within the next couple of days, I mean, those they can feed off each other, right? They're going to clear waves together. They're going to kill bosses together. Like they're going to work well together and help me progress quickly. So I just think grinding right now is the better way to move the account forward since I am a week removed from potentially getting another good champion. And usually I actually prefer to go rare into epic into legendary third just because it's easier to build them up and get that foundation for the legendary. But Ninja's so good on his own. Like that's what's really unique about Ninja is he's really good on his own. He's a wave clearer, he's a boss killer, he's a PvPer. Like he kind of does everything. I wouldn't say he's like super end game in anything other than maybe like a few niche bosses, but he can be really good in the early and the mid game and help carry my account. And he does everything well, right? Because he has that boss killing potential. So yeah, I definitely am going to focus on Ninja and just getting him leveled up. Once we do that, we still have to, get books, which we're short of. We still need to fully ascend him, which we're not really close on. Yeah, like I'm pretty far from being able to ascend him. Certainly not to 5 stars, right? So we'll need to be grinding magic, dungeon, and everything. So yeah, we've got some work to do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your patience while I was out of town. You guys have stuck with me, and I really appreciated that. I was so afraid I'd come home and lose a whole bunch of subscribers and stuff, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me. We will be back streaming on Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Time. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and my chat and I have had a discussion, and through that discussion, we have come up with a new kind of game plan for the channel. So if I get one membership during my stream, during the morning stream, then I will stream that night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that one goes up till about midnight, maybe 1 a.m. So if you want to come support the stream and you want to enjoy those opportunities and such, please, feel free to come hang out. And on the 5th, in particular, I have scheduled a account takeover. If you're watching this, I know there's somebody in particular, and I got to go through my messages. I think they messaged me, but there was somebody that wanted to do an account takeover, and with everything going on in my personal life, I kind of told them like, hey, we'll do it in August, and they haven't reached out. So if you wanted an account takeover, reach out to me. But again, if you're not a member of my clan, I do ask, the only thing I ask is that you become a member of the channel. There's a join button right below my channel. You'll see it. You join it. It's the same. It's actually cheaper than a Twitch subscription. So, and it's works the same way, right? You get to ignore ads during the stream. You get emotes, that kind of stuff. So, if you're interested in an account takeover, just become a member, and we can work something out. Okay. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.